For the basic question, we are given a chart of proportions of the most popular colors for vehicles made in North America in 2000. For silver, white, black, dark green, dark blue, and medium red cars. And the first question asks, what is the probability that the vehicle you choose has any color listed other than the 6? So it's asking for the contrasted probability. So I added up all the numbers that they gave us for probability for the cars and subtracted that from 1, as it would be 100% minus 70% to get the remainder probability of 0.295. And B is asking, what is the probability that a randomly chosen vehicle is either silver or white? And by saying or, it triggers that it is disjoint or mutually exclusive, which means you add them together. So the probability of A or B would be 0.176 plus 0.172 equals 0.348. And C asks, when choosing two vehicles at random, what is the probability that both are silver or both are white? So for this, to find the probability of A or B, I had to calculate the probability of A, which would have been choosing silver twice, which would be 2 times 0.176, and I got 0.0310. And then the probability for B would be 2 times 0.172, and that equals 0.0296. And then to get the probability of A or B, you add the probabilities of A and B, which is silver and white. And that would be 0.0310 plus 0.0296, and that equals 0.0606. And any of these probabilities can also be converted into fractions, but I just chose to keep them in their decimals. For the advanced question, it asks the question of, will taking antioxidants help prevent colon cancer? People who eat lots of fruits and vegetables have lower rates of colon cancer than those who eat little of these foods. Fruits and vegetables are rich in antioxidants, such as vitamins A, C, and E. Will taking antioxidants help prevent colon cancer? A clinical trial studied 864 people who were at risk of colon cancer. The subjects were divided into 4 groups: daily beta-carotene, daily vitamins C and E, all 3 vitamins every day, and daily placebo. After 4 years, the researchers were surprised to find no significant difference in colon cancer among the groups. Part A asks to identify the explanatory and response variable in the experiment. The antioxidants that were listed are the explanatory variable, and the response is the colon cancer. For part B, it asks for an outline of the design, and for the first part, you would randomly assign 864 people at risk for colon cancer to 4 groups of 216 people per group. I just divided 864 divided by 4 to get 216, so there would be an even amount of people in each group. And for part 2, you would give each subject in the 4 groups a specific treatment. Here are all the different treatments, and then you give that for 4 years. You can either number these different treatments off by 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then put them into a random generator to pick which treatments you would give to the first, second, and third, and fourth group. And then for the third part, at the end of the 4 years, you would compare rates of colon cancer amongst the different groups. And for part C, it asks you to go into table B, starting at line 118, and choose 5 subjects for the beta carotene group. And so I went in my textbook to table B. I went to row 118, and I did groups of 3 numbers, so you get a variety of numbers because there are zeros in the row, so you could end up with a 2-digit number. And with the range from 0 to 864, I came up with these numbers. So you go to row 118. 731 would be the first number, and 903 is too large, so you would go to the next set of 3, which is 253, and then 304 would be the next set, and then 470, and then 296. And it only asked for 5 of the subjects for the beta carotene group. So that's how I did that one. And so you would that's a way of randomly assigning people to the groups as a part of the model. Part D asked, the study was double-blind. What does this mean in the context of the problem? So a double-blind study is where neither the participants nor the experimenters know who is receiving our particular treatment. So the person who is administering the specific antioxidant doesn't know what they're giving to the group, and neither does the group. So in the context of this problem, the researchers in the study and the 864 people in each group don't know who is receiving a specific treatment, and the 864 people in 4 groups are unaware of which treatment they are receiving. Whether they are receiving daily beta-carotene, daily C and E, 3 vitamins a day, or the placebo, it is unknown to both parties. So that would happen if this was a double-blind study. And for part E, it asks to suggest some lurking variables that could explain why people who eat lots of fruits and vegetables have lower rates of colon cancer. And so I said some lurking variables could be what else they eat, their exercise habits, or any other factors that contribute to health, their family's history of colon cancer, etc. So the people in this experiment have a family history of colon cancer. So people who don't have family history of colon cancer, or who don't have a family history of cancer in general, might already be predisposed to not having cancer, and eating fruits and vegetables won't change that. They might have other exercising habits that could be other variables that reduce their cancer, just any other way that they live their life, basically. For the AP question on this video, it states that 2 antibiotics are available as treatment for a common ear infection in children. And it gives us that antibiotic A is known to effectively cure the infection 60% of the time. And it also gives us the cost at $50. And for antibiotic B, it is effective 90% of the time, with it being $80. And it gives us a plan treatment. You can either do plan 1, which is treatment antibiotic A, and if that's not effective, then you use B. And the plan 2 is the reverse of that, which would be B and then A. And so part A asks us to determine probability of plan 1. What is the probability that the child will be cured? And so I defined event A as antibiotic A works, and event B as antibiotic B works. And so for plan 1, my equation is, for the probability of plan 1, probability of A plus the probability of A contrast would just be like the opposite of A times probability of B. And so it states that it's 60%, so I put 0.6, and 1 minus 0.6 is 0.4, so that's the complement, times 0.9, which is the probability of B, and you get 0.96. And then for plan 2, it was the same but in reverse. So the probability of plan 2 would be the probability of B plus the probability of B contrast times probability of A. And that is 0.9 plus 0.1 times 0.6 equals 0.96. So they have the same probability of effectiveness or of being cured. And then for part B, it asks to compute the expected cost per child when plan 1 is used for treatment, and then also for plan 2. So the expected cost of plan 1 would be $50, which is given, times the probability that's given, which is 0.6, plus 130 times 0.4. So this is just the contrast, and then this I got by adding both the cost of antibiotic A and B. So I got 130. And that is 30 plus 52 in the end equals $82. And then I did the same for plan 2, which is the expected cost of plan 2 is $80, which is given, times 0.9, which is the probability given, plus 130 times 0.1, which is the contrast. And that gives you 72 plus $13 equals $85. And for the last part, it asks you, based on the results of part A and B, which plan would you recommend? So, based on the results from A and B, I would recommend plan 1. Both plan 1 and 2 have a success rate of 0.96, which makes them both equal in success. But plan 1 is $82 opposed to plan 2, which is $85. So it's more cost effective and therefore the better choice.